And once again, we're rushing through important legislation in a busy week during Christmas. We did this 2 years ago. We did it many times, but one stands out, and that's the ratification of CETA. And we saw where that ended up. And it's already, Cian O'Callaghan, Deputy O'Callaghan, has already referred to the change in the quorum, which was rushed through, and of course the strategic housing developments. And here we are again, doing the exact same thing. And here we have the digest from the library, and they tell us, given the time between publication of the bill and the second stage, this digest provides a brief overview. Nothing else, a brief overview. They're not in a position to give us a complete and exhaustive consideration. And here I am as a legislator and a parliamentarian, and I have tried my best, as usual, like my colleagues, to get a handle on what's going on here. And what you're doing is, I have no idea why you're doing this, Minister. I could have put on my conspiratorial hat or my paranoid hat, but I'd prefer to stick to facts, because as you know, we have regular statements on science every year about the importance of facts and evidence, and there is no evidence before us at all as to why this is necessary in this manner, other than the appointment of the chair. We're talking in a vacuum because we don't have the report from the planning regulator. Do you have that today with you, Minister? Are you going to publish it today? Why are we talking in a vacuum without the second report from the planning regulator? I understand he's complied with his his terms of reference, and I don't know why we're shaking heads, because this should be something that should be here before us. The planning regulator had terms of reference, he complied with them, he gave you his second report, there isn't a sign of it. And in his first report, he made 11 recommendations, and recommendation 1 was that the Minister for Housing, yourself, should initiate a process in relation to the powers available under the existing sections, under the existing legislation, to appoint a number of ordinary members to the board. Why didn't you comply with that? Why have you let a situation arise where we've only 4 members operating on board Pleanáil? How come that has happened? In relation to the narrative that's going out in the spin, I'm horrified. I'm horrified by the comments from the Fianna Fáil TD and from the rural independents that would state on record that the problem with planning is objectors. I don't know any objector, actually. I know concerned citizens and residents who make detailed submissions at great cost to themselves. Successive governments have reduced the process and charge for somebody making a submission. And if you don't make it at local authority level, you're excluded from Board Pleanáil. And we're here today because Board Pleanáil, the Vice Chair, is the subject of a referral from the DPP in relation to a charge, and huge, significant, I'll put it as mildly as that, problems that have arisen. And we're here today because of that, and your answer is to allow a narrative to develop both in press releases and in debates that the real problem is people on the ground objecting. I'm glad you're shaking your head, and then I'll take it back if that's not your message. It's certainly the message emanating from the establishment. So we look at this then, and we look at, we're being asked to rush this through by tonight to allow you to appoint a chair, to allow you to increase the number of, I've no problem with the increase in the number of board members, to allow you to give legislative grounding to, you can't have a quorum of 2, it must be higher than that, although that's already been done by resolution by the board, so there's no need for a rush on that either. To allow a complaints procedure that's more directive, I've no difficulty with that. I have a huge difficulty with the 3 things that are put in the manner that it's put in, giving you absolute discretion in your power in relation to the appointments. And this cross-party committee said, the committee is of the opinion, this is the pre-legislative scrutiny carried out very quickly, the committee is of the opinion that the Minister is afforded undue power over the size and operations of the board without the approach which may conflict with Board Pleanáil's independence. Serious questions here now. These are from your own colleagues on this committee, cross-party, who have said you're getting undue power in relation to the discretion that's been left to you. And you haven't dealt with that at all. You've given a speech where time constraints has allowed you to only go through 3 pages of 9 pages. And while I normally welcome brevity, because it's in all that we be brief, yours was reduced because all of the time for this debate has been reduced. Our time has been reduced to a 10-minute slot. And you go through that and you talk about the independence of Pleanáil from 1977. That's not correct. It was progress to set up Pleanáil, but it was later on that the independence was copper-fastened, as has already been said by a minister in the Labour Party. And now we're going back. As Mick Clifford said in the Examiner, we're going back to the future. We're actually going back because of the failure of Pleanáil and certain individuals on it, and the failure of the processes and the procedures, and the failure of the government to act. We're now looking at, we haven't analysed the problem in the way that we should have to get proper solutions, and we're going forward with other solutions that are absolutely detrimental. And can you, Minister, tell me why we're taking out Section 104, subsection 3C in relation to Dáil oversight? Why is there a necessity, if they could have the Minister's attention about that, that draft orders have to be put before the Dáil? Why has that been taken out? Even in the interest of trying to work with you on bona fides. In relation to the Office of the Planning Regulator, he has repeatedly pointed out that judicial reviews are not the problem. He said they're small and they're absolutely related to the strategic housing developments that you or your previous government insist to go through Pleanáil. Why is this coming out, this narrative that the problem are judicial reviews or objectors, as opposed to having a planning system that's robust, fit for purpose, with adequate staff? Why hasn't that happened, Minister? Why have I watched for 17 years at local authority level, and now I think in my 6th year as a TD, the undermining of local authorities, the removal of powers from them, absolute absence of resources, and then burdening them with an extra role in relation to the strategic housing developments without any recognition of the burdensome role that was? Why are we here today rushing through this legislation? Do you think you could, in your last 10 minutes, tell me why you haven't used your existing power to complement the board, the numbers that are necessary? Why hasn't that happened?